Okay, Lama, move on. Finally, the recording situation is sorted. මෙච්චර වෙනකන් ටික record උන්නේ නැහැ, but I will send the whiteboard note anyhow. Okay. Show that QTOP is a cyclic quadrilateral. දැන් මම චුට්ට මේ හැමතැනම ඇඳලා draw කරලා තියෙනවා erase කරන්නම්. QTOP. QTOP කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? QTOP. That means this. And I have to show that this is a cyclic quadrilateral. That part I think I will do here on this side. That is B. If you take QTOP, so any quadrilateral, the best way to prove that it is a cyclic quadrilateral is by showing that opposite angles are supplementary. Ayugan matakaina apikwa, in a cyclic quadrilateral, opposite angles are supplementary. That is one theorem. Then another theorem we learned, if the opposite angles of a quadrilateral are supplementary, it is a cyclic quadrilateral. You can see QTA plus QTO. May mulu ekama straight line ekha. Right? QTA plus QTO, it is a straight line. QTA plus QTO should be equal to 180 because they are angles on a straight line. So then QTA, you know, they have already used X. QTA is X, then we need QTO. Then QTO equals 180. This X, when you bring to other side, it becomes minus. So QTO can mean may angle like 180 minus. 180 minus X. Here, this is X no. So QTO can mean and QPO. Let's add those. QTO plus QPO. Let's add, you know, QTO is 180 minus X. Then QPO, මෙතන QPO වල value එක අපි හොයාගත්තා, that is X plus X. So minus X plus X cancel වෙලා QTO plus QPO, you get that is 180. Therefore, opposite angles are supplementary. Therefore, we can say, therefore, QTOP is a cyclic quadrilateral. Reason is opposite angles are supplementary. Is that clear? Is that clear to all of you, Lamai? Okay, let's move on to the sixth question. Too fast. In the figure, PQ equals QR. එක mark කරලා තියෙනවා. PR equals PS එකත් mark කරලා තියෙනවා. If PRS equals to QRP, PSRQ is a cyclic quadrilateral. Okay. PRS equals to QRP. Ne? Now QRP එක මම X කියලා ලියනවා. Just so that I assume that it will be easier. So when I put X to any angle, I'm going to write it here. QRP is equal to X. Now PRS is 2QRP. Ne? PRS equals to QRP. That is given. Since QRP I took as X, 2QRP would be 2X. And PRS would be 2X. Okay, X and 2X. Show that PSRQ. PSRQ can you mean PSRQ RQ. I have to show that this is a cyclic quadrilateral. How do I show that? First of all, we can see now මෙතන PQR කියන triangle එක ගත්තොත් you can see PQ side and QR sides are equal, so it is an isosceles triangle. Therefore, this side should also be X. If you take PRS triangle, you can see this side PR is equal to PS. And it is also an isosceles triangle, therefore this should also be 2X. දැනට මට පේන්නේ A ටික. So if this is, හරි අපි මේ ටික step by step ලියමු. This is Roman number 1 no. මම මෙතන මුලින්ම X කියලා දාලා මම ඒක මුලින්ම ලියන්න. Let's consider PQR triangle. PQR triangle එකේ PQ equals QR. PQ equals QR, that is given. Therefore, triangle PQR is an isosceles triangle. Therefore, QRP and QPR are equal. QPR equals QRP, and we know that QRP is X, therefore both of them become X. Within brackets, you can write base angles of an isosceles triangle. In the same manner, let's consider the triangle PRS. PRS කියන්නේ මෙයා. Here, PR equals PS. PR equals PS. PR equals PS. Same reason, it's given. The reasons ඕගොල්ලන් දන්නවනේ. Therefore, PRS is also an isosceles triangle. Therefore, PSR equals PRS. PSR equals PRS, and you know now that is 2X. Again, the reason is base angles of an isosceles triangle. Okay. Hi. ඊළඟට you can take however, like whatever triangle you can choose whatever the triangle you want. Okay. So in this particular case, මම මෙයාව පොඩ්ඩක් erase කරලා මම මෙන්න මේ triangle එක consider කරනවා. ඔයාට අනිත් triangle එක consider කළත් මේක කරන්න පුළුවන්. I will consider this triangle, PRS. I'm going to find this angle. මේ angle එක හොයාගත්තොත් මට මෙයයි supplementaryද කියලා බලන්න පුළුවන්. That's why. So, in PRS triangle, PRS, PSR and RPS, when you add all of them, it becomes 180 because interior angles of a triangle. PRS plus PSR plus RPS equals 180. The reason you know the reason, sum of interior angles of a triangle. Reason PRS and PSR, you know, they are both 2X. RPS only, I don't know. Equals 180. So RPS will be equal to 180 minus, method 2X plus 2X is 4X. When I bring it to other side, it becomes minus 4X. So here, RPS is equal to what? 180 minus 4X. Now we will see if opposite angles are supplementary in the cyclic quadrilateral that they say that they're asking us to prove. This is a cyclic quadrilateral that they're asking us to prove, no? So mamma me balanne may I supplementary the kilo. Okay. So QPS and QRS. Let's see. QPS plus QRS. So you know, sorry, QPS කියලා කියන්නේ QPR plus RPS. QPR plus RPS. QPR plus RPS. QRS කියලා කියන්නේ QRP plus PRS. QRP plus PRS. QRP plus PRS. මං ගොඩාක් චූටි I've included all the little steps. But all the steps on that main steps එක ඔයගලන් දැම්ම නම් ඇති, but I just want to make sure that you understand everything. That's why I include all the steps. QPR is X, RPS is 180 minus 4X. X plus 180 minus 4X. If you want, you can put a bracket like this. Plus QRP PRS, this is X and this is 2X. X and 2X. Okay, we'll see. X, මෙතන X තියෙනවා, මෙතන X තියෙනවා, මෙතන 2X තියෙනවා. So X plus 2X is 4X. So 4X plus 180 minus 4X. You can see 4X gets cancelled and the sum becomes 180. Therefore, we can say that PSRQ is a cyclic quadrilateral. Opposite angles are supplementary is the reason. Is that clear? Is that clear, Lama? Give me a thumbs up, please. Others? Okay. 7th one. My whiteboard note ke vannang, therefore I won't give like extra time for you to copy down. Whatever the mistakes you have, එතන පොඩි star එකක් දාලා තියන්න whiteboard note එකේ වුවා මේකෙන් බලලා correct කරගන්න. Because we are on a bit of a time crunch, that is why I won't be giving separate time. Hari. PQ equals QR. PQ equals QR, they have clearly given that. Moreover, PS is produced to T such that RS equals ST, again they have given. SRT is 32 degrees. SRT is 32 degrees. Find the magnitude of QRP. Hari. Okay, that's not that difficult. Mehmet. Oganta prashna kehwama ekapata you will feel a bit lost. No, they are asking us this. They have given us this. Ekapata apita echcha loku sense එකක් එන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ වගේ වෙලාවට පේන දේවල් ලියා. පේන්නෙත් නැත්නම් කිසිම දෙයක්, that probably means there needs to be a construction. අර මම කලින් කිව්වා වගේ. But now I can see plenty of things to write down. Second. I can see plenty of things to write down. First of all, I can see that this is an isosceles triangle. Therefore, you know base angles are equal. Therefore, this angle will also be 32 degrees. Okay? ඒක මම මුලින්ම ලියලා ඉන්නවා. SRT triangle එක ගත්තහම SR equals STE. Reason is given. මම හැම reason එකක්ම දැන් දාන්න නැහැ. I mean, you know the reasons now. Therefore, triangle SRT is an isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle means the base angles are equal. So STR equals SRT. Therefore, STR equals SRT. And that is, they have given, no, that is 32 degrees. You can write the reason as base angles of an isosceles triangle. Okay, so that is cleared. Since we know that this is 32, we can find out RST too. RST also you can find out, no, because it's a triangle. So here mama liyanawa STR plus SRT plus RST equals 180. Reason, sum of interior angles of a triangle. Now, STR, you know, is 32 degrees. SRT also, you know, that is 32 degrees. RST. So, RST is equal to 180 minus, metana 32 plus 32 is 64, no? 64, when you bring to other side, it becomes minus 64. Then RST kiyanne 180 minus 60 is 120, 116. Here you get 160. Okay, so RST is 160. Since you know RST, now you can find PSR also because they're angles on a straight line. Enama PSR one. Okay. So RST plus PSR equals 180. Reason is angles on a straight line. So RST is 116. මෙතන ළමයි මෙහෙම නැතුව ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කෙලින්ම ගන්න පුළුවන් විදියක් තියෙනවා. මේක කරන්නේ නැතුව මේක angles on a straight line ගන්න නැතුව කොහොමද කෙලින්ම ගන්නෙ? There's another method. Angles on a straight line seems a bit unnecessary. මම මෙයාමනේ හොයන්න හදන්නේ. එයාව හොයන්න නැතුව මට කෙලින්ම මෙහෙම ගන්න පුළුවන් නේද? Can you see here? Now this is definitely a cyclic quadrilateral, no, because it's a circle. All the vertices are on the circle. And you know, in a cyclic quadrilateral, opposite angle exterior angle equals interior opposite angle. In a mere 116 nang mere automatically 116 වෙනව නේද ළමයි? Up to that point, is it clear to you? Others? Okay. එහෙනම් මෙතන මම කරන්න හැදුවේ unnecessary step එකක්. That is not really needed, no? So PQR equals RST කියලා කෙලින්ම මට දාන්න පුළුවන්. PQR equals RST. Reason you can write exterior angle equals interior opposite angle in a cyclic quadrilateral. Therefore, PQR is equal to, now we know RST is 116, therefore PQR is also 160. Then we know that, let me erase this part for now. Then we also know that this part is a triangle and it is an isosceles triangle because PQ equals PR. එහෙනම් ඒක මම ලියනවා PQ equals PR, that is given. Therefore, triangle PQR is an isosceles triangle. Therefore, QPR and QRP are equal. QPR equals QRP. Reason, base angles of an isosceles triangle. Then QPR plus QRP plus PQR equals 180. Reason is sum of interior angles of a triangle. අපිට හොයන්න කියන්නේ QRP නේ, and PQR we know it's 160. බලන්න ළමයි QPR and QRP are equal නේ. QPR and QRP are equal. Therefore, instead of QPR, I can write QRP. QRP, here also QRP. PQR, I know that is 160 equals 180. So this is 2QRP equals 180. This 116, when I bring to other side, it becomes minus. So QRP equals 180 minus 116 is 64. 64 divided by 2, I get that it is 32. QRP 32 can QPR 32, but අපෙන් අහන්නේ QRP විතරයිනේ. So that is 32. එහෙනම් I will write what I found here. So this is 32, and because this is equal to this, this would also be 32. Is it clear up to that point, ළමයි? Clear? Okay. They're asking us to show that QS क्या line එකක් නැහැනේ, so we will have to construct a QS line. Q S. Question. Is that the question that you sent, Manisha? Yes, yes, yes. We'll discuss that. හොඳයි මතක් කරපෙක අපි මේක 6th එකයි 7th එකයි 6th එක discuss කළ 6th එකයි 7th එකයි discuss කළා. We'll discuss that question you sent. So they are asking us to show that QS and RT are parallel. Parallel now, we know a few things. We know that alternate angles are equal between parallel lines. We know that corresponding angles are equal. We also know that allied angles are 180. Which one here would you use for this particular question? It's quite easy. Because I want to show you all something. If you look at the QR sector or that arc, a arc එකකින් circle එකට subtend කරපු angle එකක් තමයි QPR, which is 32 degrees. That same mark QR also subtends another angle on the circle, that is QSR. So you know QPR and QSR are equal, therefore this is also 30 degrees. නේද ළමයි? So B එක we can write QSR equals QPR. The reason is angle subtended by the same sector on the circle. Since QPR is 32, QSR also will be 32. So QSR will also be therefore 32. Hari. Then QSR හොයාගත්තනේ. So let me erase these lines for a second. Then බලන්න, if these are parallel, if these two lines that they're asking us to show parallel, if they're parallel, මෙන්න මෙයයි Z angle නේද? Alternate angles නේද? This one and this one would be alternate angles. Z shape නේ. එහෙනම් මම ලියනවා SRT is also 32. ඒගොල්ලෝ එක කොහොමද දීලා තිබ්බේ SRT is 32. මම මෙහෙම ලියන්නම් SRT equals 32. That is something they have given. Therefore, QSR equals SRT. But they are alternate angles. Therefore, we can say QS and RT are parallel. Therefore, QS and RT are parallel. Is that clear to you, ළමයි? Okay. So there's a question that we need to discuss. This is a constructions question, no? Constructions question is what you're asking, neda, Manisha? Okay. So, ඒකට චුට්ටක් ඉන්න අපි tangents වලට ගිහිල්ලා at the end we will discuss the constructions part. Okay? හරි. ඊට පස්සේ we have more homework. Exercise 22.1, 7 and 8. That means we are coming to tangents finally. Exercise 22.1, 7 and 8. Okay. Two circles with equal radii and with centers A and B. Now, if you take this circle, එයාගේ center එක A. If you take this circle, එයාගේ center එක B. Y is situated such that AY equals YB. So, AY is equal to YB. Show that YX is a common tangent to these two circles. How do you find this? මෙහෙමද කරේ බලන්න. Let's consider YAB triangle. YAB triangle එක ගත්තහම you can see that YA equals YB. නේද මේ YA කියන එක නා YB ට equal. Therefore, we can say triangle YAB is an isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle like you know the base angles are equal, so YAX equals YBX. Therefore, YAX equals YBX. Reason is base angles of an isosceles triangle. Then මෙතන මට පෙන්වන්න ඕනේ YX කියන්නේ common tangent එකක් කියලා. Excuse me. So we have to show that YX is a common tangent. Then not a YX tangent. If it's a tangent, now you know this is one radius, this is another radius. These angles should be perpendicular. But අපි තාම දන්නේ නැහැනේ. මෙහෙමද කරේ බලන්න ළමයි ඔයගොල්ලන්. Did you make these two triangles congruent? Method මට පේන විදිහට that is the only method you have. YAX and YBX කියන triangles they are congruent කරන්න වෙනවා. Sorry. Okay. So triangle YAX and triangle YBX. So now we know here this angle and this angle are equal. One second. What are the elements we have here? This angle and this angle are equal, that we can take. This side and this side are equal, we can take. So we have two sides. This side is common side. However, we can't put SAS. Why can't we put SAS? Why can't we put SAS?
Because there's a perpendicular line.
Not because there's a perpendicular line. No. What? No, not that. Anything else? මේකට SAS case එක දාන්න බෑ අපිට. Why? Why can't we put SAS? කියනටක් ගාලා. Now, congruency is something you learned in grade 10. You can't take too much time to answer this. See, මම දැන් තවනේ congruency වලට SAS දාලා කරන්න හදනවා. But SAS දාලා කරන්න බෑ. Then what should I use here? Can I use AAS? Come on, line. RHS would
Okay.
go right angle එකක්.
This could be side.
What is it, Tavisha?
This could be side. The SSS case, since
Very good. Side. That is the only way for us to get it. මොකද මේක දැක්ක ගමන් අපිට අග්ගාලා යනවා SAS වලට. Why? Because we can see one side, මේ side pack equal, make a common side, make a common angle. I mean, equal angles. So we would direct them. මම තේ පාත් එකේ තමයි ගියේ. But දාන්න හදනකොට what I saw is that you cannot put SAS because if it's SAS, the angle has to be included angle. ඒ කියන්නේ equal කියලා ගන්න side දැන් මෙතන මේ side let me just erase this for a second. Here if I take this side and this side, the angle should be in the middle. And in this triangle also, this side and this side, angle should be in the middle. It says what it should be included angle. Here we don't have included angle. එහෙනම් මේක හොයපු එකත් ඇත්තටම වැඩක් නැහැ. මේක හොයපු එකත් වැඩක් නැහැ. So SSS, Tavish said SSS. So that is the correct answer. But do we have another side? Or we have this side pair. We have this side pair. What about this side and this side? Are they equal? Yes, because these are two circles with equal radii. දැක්ක නේද? So AX and BX are equal. So actually මේක හෙව්වට වැඩක් නැහැ. ඒක අපිට ඕන වෙන්නේ නැහැ. එතන ඒ ට්‍රික් එකට almost අහු වෙනවා. නේද? SS දැම්මොත් එතන කෙලිම වැරදි. එහෙනම් we will just use SSS. Triangle YAX and triangle YBX. YA equals YB. YA equals YB can AY. AY equals AB. AY equals YB. That is what they have given. Then YX equals YX, common side. Then AX equals BX equal radii. Kila liwa nang ati. Equal radii. Therefore, triangle YAX is congruent to triangle YBX under SSS case. ඒක හින්දා අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් now these two triangles are congruent no එහෙනම් this angle and this angle are equal. එහෙනම් අපි ඒක ලියමු. Therefore YXA is equal to YXB. Why? Corresponding angles of congruent triangles. And we also know at the same time, YXA plus YXB should be 180. Why do we say that? Because they are angles on a straight line. Now, since YXA and YXB are equal, now YXB වෙනුවට YXA කියලා ලියනවා. So 2YXA equals 180. Therefore, YXA equals 90. And since YXA is equal to YXB, YXB will also be equal to 90. ඒ කියන්නේ ළමයි මෙතන ගත්තොත් now this is 90 and this is 90. Therefore, YX should be a tangent නේ. එහෙනම් අපිට ලියන්න පුළුවන් YX is perpendicular to AX. See මෙතන. If you look at this one, here YX is perpendicular to AX. Therefore, YX is a tangent to this circle. Therefore, YX is a tangent to that circle. Therefore, YX is a tangent. Common circle like a label කරන්න. We'll say to circle with නැත්නම් අපි මෙහෙම කරමුද ළමයි? මෙහෙම වෙන වෙනම ලියන්න නැතුව we will just say YX is perpendicular to AX. YX is also perpendicular to BX. BX is here. So AX and BX are radii. එහෙනම් අපිට කෙලින්ම කියන්න පුළුවන්. Therefore, YX is a I'm sorry for my bad handwriting. I hope it's readable. Y, yeah? Yx is a common tangent. Within brackets, we'll write the reason. Tangent and the radius are perpendicular. Is that clear? Is that clear? Others? Okay, we'll move on to the 8th question of this one. Let me get the 8th question to the whiteboard. These questions are quite challenging, no? The more geometry we learn, they can ask geometry theorems from anywhere. From grade 10 to grade 11, everything we have done. ඒකයි මම ඔයගලන්ට grade 11 මුල හරි මැද හරි කිව්වා theorems වලට short note එකක් හදාගන්න, just including all the theorems. Then when you do geometry questions, you try to figure it out, but if you can't figure it out, you can quickly refer to the theorems short note. එක ගොඩක් අය හදලා මට එව්වා, but then ඊට පස්සේ මම එක කියන්න නැතුව ඇති, so those of you who joined a bit later might not have done it. But anyways, it's better to have all the theorems at one place so that you can easily refer. Okay. All right. In anitaka geometry wala පාඩම් කරා කියලා වැඩක් නැහැ. So don't waste your energy on studying the theorems. Just go through the theorems really quick and do questions, and more questions. No point in trying to study. Questions ගොඩාක් කරනකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට තේරෙයි you are slowly getting better කියලා. In the given figure, AB is the diameter. AB is the diameter. PQ touches the circle at point B. If PQ touches the circle at only one point, that means PQ is a tangent, no? Prove that QRB is 90. මෙන්න මෙයා 90 කියලා පෙන්නන්න. Okay, that is easy, no? මොකද? Can you all see here? Now this is the diameter, no? Then ARB is 90 degrees. Why? Because ARB is the angle subtended by the diameter on the circle. And you know angle subtended by the diameter on the circle is always 90 degrees. එහෙනම් මට directly ඒක ලියන්න පුළුවන්. ARB is equal to 90 degrees. Why? Angle subtended by the diameter, the angle in a semicircle. If AB is the diameter, that part is a semicircle, no? එහෙනම් මේ side එකත් කොහොමත් 90 තමයි නේ? Sorry. Therefore, this side is also anyways 90 because QRB plus ARB equals 180 angles on a straight line. And ARB is 90, therefore QRB equals 180 minus 90. Therefore, QRB is equal to 90 degrees. ඊළඟට ABR equals RQB. ABR කොහෙද ඉන්නේ? ABR is here. RQB is here. We have to show that these are equal. කොහොමද අපි ඒක පෙන්නන්නේ? How would you show that these are equal? Tangents වල අපි පුතන්ට එකක් කරාද ළමයි? We did the two theorems, no? Theorem and converse of the theorem only, ne? So far. Okay. Anyways, yes, how did you do this? A plus B is 90. What is A and what is B? A plus B is 90, yes. And then second, A plus B is 90. Okay, that is true. ABQ is 90. ABQ is 90, yes. Correct. What about others? How do you show that these are equal? What is B plus C is 90? What is C? Q and nothing. C Q Q the. You mean this and this are 19? Yes. And you are on the right track. Yes. What about others? Manisha, okay. What about others? Now, Lamai, whatever we know, we will first start by writing that. Here, if you take the triangle ARB, okay. ඊට කලින් ළමයි, now you know QP is a tangent. QP is a tangent. Since QP is a tangent, this angle is a 90-degree angle. This is 90 degrees, right? මම මෙතන පොඩි වැඩක් කරනවා මට ලේසි වෙන්න. What am I going to do? They are asking me to show that this is equal to this නේ. මම මෙයාට x දාගෙන බලනවා. I'm going to put x to this angle. And I'm going to see. So first let's try the triangle ARB. ARB triangle එක ගත්තොත් ARB plus ABR plus RAB equals 180. Sum of interior angles of a triangle. Then ARB is 90 degrees, which we already found. ABR is අපි දැන් මම එකට letter එකක් දාගත්ත x කියලා. RAB I don't know. 180. So RAB would be 180 minus 90 minus x. Therefore, RAB would be x. 100, sorry, RAB would be 180 minus 90 is 90, 90 minus x. Now, please give me a second, a minute. Okay, Lamai. So RAB මට 90 minus x කියලා ආවා. So where is RAB? Here. So this is 90 minus x. Okay. Now I'm going to consider this big triangle. That is ABQ big triangle. Let's see. ABQ. මේ ළමයි Roman number 2. ABQ ගත්තහම BAQ. BAQ plus ABQ plus AQB equals 180. That is sum of interior angles of a triangle. BAQ can meane. BAQ is the same as RAB, which is 90 minus x. So mom kelimata 90 minus x කියලා දැම්මා. Plus ABQ. ABQ is this. I already found that as 90 degrees. මෙතන ළමයි අපි කලින් එක 90 degrees කියලා හොයපු එක ලිව්වේ නෑ නේද? We might have to include that as a step. So ABQ equals 90 degrees. Angle between, no, sorry. Radius and tangent are perpendicular. So ABQ is 90 degrees. Then AQB, I have no idea. I will just write as it is. Equals 180. Then AQB is equal to 180. මේ 90 මේ පැත්තට ගියාම minus වෙනවා. Minus මේ 90 minus x උත් එහා පැත්තට යනවා. 90 minus x. So AQB equals 180 minus 90. Minus times plus is minus. Minus times minus is plus. So 180 minus 90 is 90. 90 minus 90 is 0. Therefore, AQB is equal to x. So here AQB is also equal to x. AQB can RQB මනේ මේක හරිනේ. ABR is equal to RQB. මෙතන ABR අපි x කියලා ගත්තානේ කො. ABR is x. Now RQB is also x. Therefore, ABR is equal to RQB. Is that clear, lamai? Is it clear?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Okay. Then 22.2. 22.2 එකේ අපි අර ඉතුරු theorems ටික discuss කරලානේ. The two tangents are equal in length. Angle between the tangent is bisected by the straight line, joining the external point to the center. The tangents subtend equal angles at the center. Okay. 22.2 එකේ 7 and 8. One second. අපිට මම ඔයගලන්ට තව past paper set එකක් homework විදිහට දුන්නා නේද 2020 2021 and 2022 finish කරන්න කියලා. අපි අන්තිමට discuss කරේ මොන question එකද ළමයි? I think we were doing 2019. Or was it 2019 or 2018? අපි discuss කරපු last question එක. Last paper එක. 2019 වල which question? Did we finish that paper? Can't remember. We finished that. Okay. ඒ කියන්නේ except for අපි කරපු නැති lessons වල questions අරන් අනිත් ඔක්කොම ඉවර කරන්න නැති. Then 2016 17 18 papers වලට ගිහිල්ලා trigonometric questions ඊට පස්සේ cyclic quadrilaterals tangents ඒ ඔක්කොම ටික ඉවර කරලා දාන්න. Okay? But in 2016 hari, okay, no problem. Then 7th question, according to this exercise 22.2, exercise 22.2. Okay. According to the information in the figure, show that XC is equal to CY. Also, AC and BC are tangents drawn to the given circle at A and B, respectively. How would you do this based on what we know? අපේ center එකේ ටික මොනවද දීලා නැහැනේ. මොකද අපි කරන්නේ ළමයි? How do you say AC is equal to B? AC is equal to BC, you can say because AC and BC are tangents drawn at A and B. Okay, let's say that AC is equal to BC, that is okay. And then, therefore, these two angles will be equal because this will be an isosceles triangle. Ekina මේ angles දෙක equal. A angles දෙක equal නම් මේක එච්චර ලොකුට අමාරුවක් නෑනේ. A angles දෙක equal නම් using corresponding angles, yes. These are parallel lines now. F shape in the මෙයාට equal. Therefore, these two are also equal. Ekina මේ දෙන්නත් equal because it's an isosceles triangle. Let's write it step by step. AC and BC are tangents drawn to the given circle at A and B. Therefore, AC is equal to BC. Mata Mithil, look, like I have a question to ask you. What would you write as the reason here? You say tangents AC and BC are equal. So what would be the reason you write here? අපි ඉගෙන ගත්ත නේද external point එකෙන් yes external point එකකින් tangent දෙකක් අඳිද්දී ඒ tangents දෙක equal කියලා length එක equal if two tangents are simple විදිහට ලියන්න drawn from an external point they are equal in length. Therefore, AC is equal to BC. Since AC is equal to BC, we can say, therefore, triangle ABC is an isosceles triangle. Therefore, CAB and CBA angles are equal. CAB and CBA angles are equal. What ඕන මේකට x කියලා එකක් දාගන්න පුළුවන් which I think would be easier. මෙයා x so මෙයාත් x. You write the reason as base angles of an isosceles triangle. Then we write now AB and XY are parallel now. Therefore, may I equal because they're corresponding angles. Therefore, this will also be x. Malyanang CXY equals CAB corresponding angles between parallel lines. Therefore, CXY is also equal to x. In the same manner, this will also be equal to x because this and this equal corresponding angles again. So CYX is equal to CBA, same reason. Therefore, CYX is also equal to x. Now CXY is x, CYX is also x, therefore they are equal. Therefore, CXY equals CYX. එහෙනම් අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් therefore CX equals CY. How can we say that? Because අපි අහන්න මොකද්ද? CX equals CY නේ. ඒකම තමයි මේ. මෙතන CX කියන එකම XC විදිහට ලියන්න because that's what they're asking you to show. What is the reason? Sides opposite to equal angles in a triangle. Is it clear, Lamai? Others, give me a thumbs up. Then again, ඒකෙත් 8th question එක දීලා තියෙනවා. Tangents වල we have a little bit more. Our alternate segment එක තියෙනවා. After that, tangents is over. Okay. So tangents drawn from the external point P to the circle given in the figure is touch the circle at P and X. ළමයි අද අපි චුට්ටක් class එක වැඩිපුර කරනවා because we started at 7:30. We will go until like 9:45, between 9:45 45 10 වගේ යමු චුට්ටක්. I think that would be okay with you. Is that okay with you all, ළමයි? If I go a little beyond 9:30, is that okay with you? කොහොමද අපි ඉවර කරනකොට 9:40 45 වෙනවනේ. Okay. Newmi and Akib? new okay. මොකද අපි constructions වල majority එක ඉවර කරන්න try කරමු අද. Okay. Line QR which touches a circle at Z. So this is also a tangent. This is also a tangent and this is also a tangent. So there are 3 tangents. XQ equals YR. Okay. අපි පෙන්නන්න ඕනේ PR equals PQ. PR is here, PQ is here. Then we know when we draw two tangents from an external point, those two tangents are equal. Therefore, PX equals PY, right? PX equals PY. PX equals PY. I will copy paste, but you have to, of course, write. If two tangents are drawn from an external point, they're equal in length. Then now XQ and YR are anyways equal, in it. XQ is equal to YR, that is given. So if I label this equation as equation 1 and this as equation 2, and you add 1 and 2. So you get PX plus XQ on this side equals PY plus YR on this side. So PX plus XQ can be PQ. PY plus YR means PR. So this is PR. You know, that is what they're asking you to prove. So that is all good. QR is equal to XQ plus YR. Okay. Then මෙතන ළමයි, again, this is not that difficult. Something that we know already is if you take Q as the external point, QX and QZ are the tangents drawn from Q to the circle. Therefore, do you understand that QX and QZ would be equal? Did you understand that? Is it clear? QX and QZ would be equal. Others, give me a thumbs up. QX would be equal to QZ. So QX equals QX XQ XQ equals QZ. Reason again the same thing. If two tangents are drawn from an external point, they're equal in length. In the same manner, R is also an external point and YR and RZ are tangents drawn to the circle from the external point R. Ehena, YR would also be equal to ZR. YR would be equal to ZR. Same reason. So I will just use inverted commas like this. If I label this as my equation number 1 and this my equation number 2, I'm going to add 1 plus 2. So on this side, XQ plus YR is equal to on this side QX plus ZR. Is that what they're asking us to show? Me pata QR thing. Here XQ plus YR, on this side QX QZ plus ZR. So QZ plus ZR together, that is QR. These two together is QR. So that is what they're asking us to prove. Ne? XQ plus YR equals QR. But QR equals XQ plus YR. That's the same thing. Is that clear? Thumbs up. Others? Roman number 3, we have to show that XY is parallel to QR. How do you show XY is parallel to QR? කොහොමද ඒක පෙන්වන්නේ අපි? අලමයි කොහොමද ඔයගලන් කරේ මේක? I'm really interested to hear your answers. මේක එකපාරට ගන්න බෑ එකයි. PQR equals PRQ isosceles, okay? Yes, PQR equals PRQ isosceles. මෙතනත් isosceles triangle එකක් තියෙනවානේ. So this is one isosceles triangle here. Okay. And this is another isosceles triangle. And then what? We geometry වල ඉගෙන ගත්ත එකක් මෙතන use කරන් තියෙනවා. Okay, let's write step by step. මම මේ පැත්ත හදන්නම් එක. So this PXY is an isosceles triangle. So if you take triangle PXY, PX equals PY, reason it's given, no? I know if two tangents are drawn from an external point, they're equal in length. එක මෙතන පෙන්නපු හින්දා ඔයාලට මෙතන ලියන්න පුළුවන් proven above කියලා. Therefore, triangle PXY is an isosceles triangle. Therefore, PXY angle equals PYX. Therefore, PXY angle equals PYX. Our reason is base angles of an isosceles triangle. එතකොට මම මේ triangle එකේ ඔක්කොම add කරලා බැලුවොත් PXY plus PYX plus XPY is equal to 180 interior angles of a triangle. Then PXY and PYX anyway is equal. So here, mom PXY මෙහෙම ලියන්නම්. There's a shorter way to show this, but I will first do the longer method so that you understand all the steps. Then since PXY and PYX are equal, I will write this also as PXY equals XPY equals 180. Therefore, XPY is equal to 180 minus PXY plus PXY can it 2PXY. ඔන්න බලන්න මට එතකොට මෙන්න මේක තමයි ආවේ. මේක මට ආවා 180 minus 2PXY. Okay. Now let's get this big triangle. So මේක අපි prove කරානේ already PQ equals PR කියලා. එහෙනම් ඒක මම ලියන්නම්. PQ equals PR proven above. Therefore, triangle PQR is an isosceles triangle. Therefore, the base angles, that means this angle is equal to this angle. PQR equals PRQ. PQR equals PRQ. You can write base angles of an isosceles triangle. Then you can add all the interior angles of the triangle. PQR plus PRQ plus RPQ equals 180 interior angles of a triangle. So, PQR plus now PRQ and PQR are equal. No? So, instead of PRQ, I can also write PQR plus RPQ. RPQ කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේ angle එක නේද? Here we already found that as 180 minus 2pxy. එහෙනම් මං RPQ වෙනුවට ලියනවා 180 minus 2pxy. 180 minus 2pxy equals 180. So PQR plus PQR is 2PQR equals 180. This whole thing, I bring it to other side, it becomes minus 180 minus 2pxy. So PQR, 2PQR equals 180. Minus times plus is minus. Minus times minus is plus 2pxy. Then PQR equals 180 minus 180 is 0. So I have 2pxy. That has to be divided by 2. So PQR is equal to pxy. PQR can measure, pxy can measure. And you can see they are also corresponding angles because they are in F shape. Therefore, we can say QR is parallel to XY. But they are corresponding angles. Therefore, XY is parallel to QR. Is that clear? My short method එකත් මේක කියන්න because that's important. But did you understand up to this point? Oneli, Tavisha, Newmi? Short method එක මොකද්ද ළමයි මේකේ? මේ කොටස එහෙමම එනවා. අපි කිව්වා PXY is an isosceles triangle, therefore the base angles are equal. ඊළඟට මේ කොටසත් එහෙමම එනවා. If you take the PQR big triangle, මෙන්න මේට කිව්වා මෙහෙම කියලා එනවා. Okay. And then triangles දෙකම add කරාම 180 නේ. So if you take this triangle, මෙයාගේ interior angles කියන්නේ PXY plus PYX plus XPY. XPY equals 180. You can write interior angles of a triangle and you can label this as equation number 3 or something. Here PQR plus PRQ plus QPR equals 180 interior angles of a triangle. 4 කියලා දාන්න. Now both of these are equal to 180. Therefore you can see equations 3 and 4 are equal. Equations 3 and 4 are equal. එහෙනම් මේ කොටසයි equal වෙනවා. PXY plus PYX plus XPY equals PQR plus PRQ plus QPR. And you can see that XPY and QPR are both the same thing. We are talking about this one. Therefore, they are both equal. I will write XPY is equal to QPR. එහෙනම් ඒ දෙනා මට cancel කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? I can cancel them off. So I have pxy plus pyx equals pqr plus prq. And you know pxy and pyx are equal. එහෙනම් මට මෙතන pyx වෙනුවට pxy ලියන්න පුළුවන්. So pxy plus pxy. Here also pqr and prq are equal. So pqr instead of prq, I want to write pqr. So 2pxy equals 2pqr. Therefore, pxy equals pqr. Then you can at the end write, but they are corresponding angles. The mathematical loquity they both seem the same length. Seem the same number of steps. But this is actually a bit simpler. And the method space it doesn't really seem like a shorter method. But anyhow, you should have a clearer idea about both the methods. You can use whatever the method you want. Up to that point, is everything clear? Okay. Put a topic. Now we are moving on to the new part. Angles in the alternate segment. Angles in the alternate segment. Give me 1 second. Okay. So angles in the alternate segment. topic එක දැන් මනේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ මම topic එක කලින් දාන්න කියලා කිව්වා නේද? Okay. So here this is a circle, right? And I'm going to draw a code like this. So code එකකින් a circle will be broken down to two parts. A circle will be divided to two parts using a code. So this part is one segment. Using a code, a circle is divided into two parts. And this is one segment. And this is another segment. Like this. Here, Lamai, when you divide a circle into two segments like this using a chord, the larger segment, we call it the major segment. This is called the major segment. And the smaller segment, we call it the minor segment. Major segment, and this is the minor segment. And let's say that this chord is AB. So as you can see, chord AB divides the circle to two segments as above. So ලොකු පාටක අපි කියනවා major segment කියලා, පොඩි පාටක අපි කියනවා minor segment කියලා. Minor segment කියලා. So when I consider minor segment, the major segment කියන්නේ අනිත් එක්කෙනා. Alternate එක්කෙනා. Alternate කියන්නේ consider කරන එක නෙවෙයි අනිත් එක්කෙනා කියන එක. If I'm considering the minor segment, the other segment will be the major segment. If I consider the major segment, the other segment will be the minor segment. Can you all quickly draw a sketch of this? Can you quickly draw a sketch of this? Fast. Quickly draw this. My යට පොඩි ඒවා ටිකක් අඳින්නම්. Don't worry about it and just draw this one. Others done? Here, ළමයි, AB is a chord and CD is a tangent. එතකොට, if I consider now there's a chord, no, I have drawn a chord, and to one of the points of the chord, to that point I have drawn a tangent. So this is AB chord. එතන chord එක point එකක්, which is A. I have chosen that and I have drawn a tangent through A. That is CD. This is the same thing. එතකොට ළමයි, මෙතන the angle between the chord and the tangent. When I say angle between the chord and the tangent, now this is the chord and this is the tangent. So angle between the chord and the tangent, it could be this angle. But it could also be this angle. Because here this is also chord, this is also tangent. So it could be either BAD or it could be CAB. එතකොට ළමයි, if I consider BAD, Now BAD associate when a segment එක මේකනේ. If I say the alternate segment of BAD, ඒ කියන්නේ යාට associate වෙන segment එක නෙවෙයි අනිත් segment එක. So the segment associated with this is this, no? Then what is other segment? Other segment is this. So when I say alternate segment of BAD, the alternate segment of BAD is this segment. If you look at CAB associate වෙලා ඉන්නේ මේ segment එකත් එක්ක. එහෙනම් what is the alternate segment of CAB? එයා associate වෙලා ඉන්න එක නෙවෙයි අනිත් එක, that would be this. Did you get that, ළමයි? When you consider the angle between the chord and the tangent, the alternate segment of that angle would be the segment that is not associated with that angle. මේ angle එකේ alternate segment එක මෙයා. මේ angle එකේ alternate segment එක මෙයා. Is it clear? Is it clear, ළමයි? Okay. So, alternate segment of BAD කියලා you can shade this. Alternate segment of CAB කියලා you can shade this. Quickly add this part as well, ළමයි. Quickly. I'll give you 1 more minute to write this. මේක ලියන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. මුලින්ම ඕක ලියාගෙන ඉන්නකො. Diagrams එක ඇඳගෙන ඉන්න. Okay, Lama, if you are done drawing that, can you also write this theorem down here? Then I will explain that after writing. Just write the theorem only. Let me know if you're done writing the theorem. Others, give me a thumbs up if you have finished writing the theorem. Akib, Tavisha, Numi. Tavisha? Okay. දැන් බලන්න මෙන්න මෙහෙම එකක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. The angles a tangent to a circle makes with a chord drawn from the point of contact. ඒ කියන්නේ tangent එක chord එකත් එක්ක හදන angle එක. Let's say it's this angle. This is equal to the angle in the alternate segment. මේ AB කියන chord දෙකෙන් අනිත් segment එක alternate segment එකට subtend කරන angle එක මොකද්ද? Let's say from this AB chord, the angle subtended on the alternate segment is this. Let's say that this point is P. Can you see that AB කියන chord දෙකෙන් alternate segment එක දැන් this is here the segment associated with this angle is this no? එහෙනම් එයාට alternate segment I mean the angle that is not associated with it will be the alternate segment. Therefore, you know the alternate segment will be this. Here, this. This is the alternate segment. So, may AB කියන chord එකෙන් alternate segment එකට subtend කරන angle එක which is this. So, this angle will be equal to this angle. So, this angle will be equal to this. Let's read this again. The angles a tangent to a circle makes with a chord. Tangent එක chord එකත් එක්ක හදන angle එක which is BAD is equal to the angles in the alternate segment. මෙයාගෙන් alternate මේ chord එකෙම alternate segment එකට subtend වෙන angle එකට එක equal. So what is the angle subtended on the alternate segment by the same chord? That is APB. So BAD will be equal to APB. Is that clear, Lamai? Is it clear? Okay. Then let's look at this one. The angle tangent to a circle makes with a chord. So this is the chord. This is also the tangent. එහෙනම් angle between the chord and the tangent කියන එකට මට මෙයාව ගන්න පුළුවන්. If I consider this angle, the alternate segment is this. This part is the alternate segment. As I said here, if I consider this angle, this is the alternate segment. එහෙනම් මේ angle එක equal same chord එකෙන් alternate segment එකට subtend කරන angle එක. Let me draw that angle from the same chord. The angle which I will label as, let's say, Q. So here, let me go over it again. The angle between the chord and the tangent will be equal to the angle subtended by the same chord in the alternate segment. That is this. Therefore, BAC will be equal to AQB. Is that clear, Lamai? Thumbs up. Okay, make a toggle draw again. Don't take too much time. Quickly draw. Let's do some example. Okay, Lamai. So let us do an example. For this, I'm using the same example as on the textbook, which is example number 2, but we will discuss it together and then we will do a question. Okay. So the straight line AB touches the circle at point P, Q touches the circle at point P. Therefore, this is the tangent. Q and R are points on the circle. S is also a point on the circle. The bisector of the angle PQR. PQR can angle like a mechanic. PQR bisector means the line that divides it equally into two. Meets the circle at S. Therefore, we know this angle and this angle should be equal. මොකද මෙයාගේ bisector එක තමයි S ට ගිහලා හම්බ වෙන්නේ. So bisector means that a bisector divides the angle into two equal parts. Show that PS is the bisector of BPR. BPR ගේ bisector එක PS කියලා පෙන්නන්න ඕනේ. For that, we have to show that this angle and this angle are equal. හරි. මුලින්ම අපිට පේනවා අපි ලියමු. So we can see one chord here. PS is a chord here. Okay. එහෙනම් BPS is the angle it makes with the chord. BPS is the angle that this chord makes with the tangent. That should be equal to the angle subtended by this chord in the alternate segment. What is the angle subtended by this chord in the alternate segment? That is this. ඒක තේරුණාද ළමයි? මෙන්න මේ BPS කියන එක කෙනා මෙන්න මේ angle එකට equal කියන එක තේරුණාද? Thumbs up. හරි. ඊට කලින් මම එක step එකක් add කරන්නම්. They are saying that this is angle bisector, no? So this angle and this angle are equal. මම එක පොඩ මුලින් ලියලා ඉන්නම්. මුලින් ලියලා මම මේ එක angle එකකට x කියලා දානවා. කැමති නම් x දාන්න නැතුව කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. So PQS equals SQR මම එක x කියලා දානවා. Reason I'm writing angle bisector. Now what I just said, may angle like equal may angle like angle in the alternate segment. So I will write that as well. BPS equals PQS. Therefore, now PQS is x no, so BPS also becomes x. So hena mama metana x කියලා ලියන්න. So this is also x. Okay, let me erase this. Make it clear. What else can we see? දැන් අපිට ඕනේ මෙන්න මේ PS කියන line එකේ මෙන්න මේ angle එක bisect වෙනවා කියලා පෙන්නන්න. For that, I have to show that this angle and this angle are equal. මම dots වලින් පෙන්නන angles දෙක equal කියලා තමයි පෙන්නන්න ඕනේ. Now one angle I know that is x. So this angle I have to somehow show that it is x. එතකොට මේ දෙන්න x දෙන්න x නේ, so that would be angle bisector කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. බලන්න මේ RS කියන code එක ගත්තොත් sorry arc එක ගත්තොත් RS වලින් circle එකට subtend කරන එක angle එකක් RQX. ඒ RS කියන එකනම angle circle එකට subtend කරන තව angle එකක් තමයි RPS. So we can write RPS equals RQX. Why are they equal? Angle subtended by the same arc on the circle. Now you know RQX is x no, එහෙනම් මෙයාත් x වෙනවා. Therefore, RPS is also equal to x. Then එහෙනම් අපිට ඕන එක prove කරන්න පුළුවන් නේ? Why? Now both of these are x no. එහෙනම් this angle is bisected by this. Why? Because this and this both are equal. So at the end I will write BPS equals RPS. Therefore, PS is the bisector of angle BPR. BPR කියන්නේ මෙයා. BPR. Is that clear ළමයි? Others? Okay, quickly write this down ළමයි. මේ question එකේ මේ මුළු description එකම ලිව්වේ නැතත් කමක් නැහැ. නිකන් ලියාගන්න මෙන්න මේ කොටස ඕනේ නැහැ. Just write this part only. Quickly write. This is actually the end of the lesson, but we have to do like a few questions. Okay. Shall we try one question and we'll discuss that and then we'll end the class, huh? Anitaka, we have an extra class scheduled on 26th Monday. How does that work for you? 26th Monday, is it okay? Morning. 7 to 9:30 or 7 to 10. Is that okay, lamai? Oneli, Tavisha, Yumi? Okay. Please join the class, huh? Hari. Let's try a question alone. Go to exercise 22.3. Do the fourth question. Make a kara, make a discuss kara, and then we will end the class. Fourth big question. Some reason I can't get the question to the whiteboard. But fourth question, fourth big question. AB is a tangent drawn to the circle through X. The point C and E are on the circle. Exercise 22.3. Fourth big question. අර මෙහෙම diamond එකක් වගේ diagram එකක් තියෙන. That's why. Quickly do that. Let me know when you're done, lamai. I'll give you like 2 more minutes, huh? 2 more minutes and we'll discuss. Okay, lamai. Let's discuss. AB is a tangent drawn to the circle through X. Okay. AB is a tangent drawn through X. The points C and E are on the circle such that BXC is equal to AXE. Lamai, Monday morning class අපි cancel කරමු because some of you can't do it. I got the answer in the chat box that some of you cannot do the class. Like during the class when we decide and let's say you have an exam or like you have to go to school, then we can't do the class there. So I was assuming that most of you will be home. But yes, let's reschedule to a different day and I will let you know. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Tuesday I can't, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I should most probably be able to. Let's see. So D is another point. Okay. Show that XD is the bisector of EDC. EDC කියන්නේ මෙයා එයාගේ bisector එක XD කියලා පෙන්වන්න ඕනේ. ඔක්කොම කලින් I will only write the parts that I can see. So EX is a chord and AX is a tangent. So this is the angle between the chord and the tangent, right? Then A chord දෙකෙන්ම alternate segment එකේ හැදෙන angles මොනවාද? බාන්න EX කියන කෝඩ් එකෙන්ම EX කියන කෝඩ් එකෙන්ම alternate segment එකේ හැදෙන එක angle එකක් මේක. That is this. So I can write AXE is equal to EDX. බාන්න ළමයි EX කියන එකෙන්ම subtend වෙන තව angle එකක් තමයි ECX. So this should also be equal to ECX නේද? So AXE is also equal to ECX. They're not equal. Right? So reason is angles in the alternate segment. Okay, let me erase the lines here. Okay. On the other hand, I have now XB is මෙතන X කියලා දාගමුද ළමයි? Because I feel like that would be easier. So this is X, and this is also X. As you can tell, I love putting algebraic symbols because it makes things so much easier for me personally. This is the chord and this is the tangent. So this angle, now this is also X. Why they are saying BXC is equal to AXE. In a mambuli make a chutta kliyanna. BXC can mea that is equal to AXE. And I will say that both of them are X. Now that is given. Now coming to this. Now coming to this here. This is the chord and this is the tangent. මේ බාන මේ chord දෙකෙන්ම alternate segment එකේ subtend වෙලා තියෙන එක angle එකක් තමයි මේක. තව angle එකක් මේක. Therefore this is X and this is also X. Therefore I can write BXC is equal to CEX and also CDX. And that is also equal to X. Reason is again angles in the alternate segment. Let me erase the lines. Okay. Now we can clearly prove what they're asking you to prove, which is that XD is the bisector of EDC. EDC is this angle, this is XD. You can see both of these angles are equal. So I will write EDX, therefore EDX, which is this, that is equal to X, and CDX can mean that is also equal to X. Therefore, they are equal. Therefore, I can say XD is the bisector of EDC angle. Is that clear, Lamai? Give me a thumbs up. Is it clear? Nidida? Okay, I'll quickly finish, huh? Then EX equals CX. EX can mea, CX can mea. That is also very clearly we can see. If you take this triangle, this is X, therefore it's an isosceles triangle and may I equal. Ekat liyamu api ECX triangle එක ගත්තහම now මෙතන CEX. So CEX is equal to X කියලා අපි දිවා already කලින්. So I will write it. CEX is equal to X. And ECX is also equal to X. එකත් මම මෙතන ලිව්වා. ECX is also equal to X. ඕන මේ දෙක ලියලා proven above කියලා ලියන්න පුළුවන්. Therefore, CEX is equal to ECX. If they are equal, we can say, therefore, EX equals CX. What is the reason? Sides opposite to equal angles in a triangle. Let's move on to the last part. Let me erase these lines. So then අපිට මොනවද prove කරේ? EX is equal to CX කියලා. Okay. Then AB is parallel to EC. ඒකත් අපිට ලේසියෙන් පෙන්වන්න පුළුවන්. See, this is X, this is also X, and they are alternate angles Z shape එකේ. Therefore, this is parallel. මම මුලින් ඔක්කොම X දාගත්ත හින්දා අතර මාර විදිහට ලේසි වුණා. I'm not asking you to put algebraic symbols everywhere and anywhere, but suitable with your algebraic symbols use කරන්න, because that can be such a big tool. Okay. So මෙතන අපි කිව්වා AXE is equal to X කියලා කොහොමද කිව්වා? And then CEX is also equal to X. AXE is equal to X. CEX is also equal to X. ඕන එකම proven above කියලා දාන්න. Algebraic symbols use කරේ නැත්නම් ළමයි මේක ටිකක් lengthy answer එකක්. Therefore, AXE is equal to CEX. But they are alternate angles. Therefore, AB is parallel to EC. Is that clear, Lamai? Okay. I'm sorry for dragging the class till 10. I know you are tired, but trust me, I'm more tired. Because you guys were only listening. I was talking all these 2.5 hours. So I kind of tried to speed it up because we have to finish it fast. So I won't talk much. The next class, the rescheduled class, I will let you know as soon as possible when it will be. Until then, study well. The Manisha construction question next week discuss because we were not able to come to constructions yet. But next week we will definitely be doing constructions. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට constructions and graphs ඉවර කරාම we'll be okay with whatever the lessons we have no. Then අපිට අගාලා අර past papers ටික discuss කරමු. That's why මම කරලා තියන්න කියලා කිව්වා. ඒකට අපිට ටට්ට ගාලා discuss කරන්න විතරයි තියෙන්නේ. Okay, then let's wrap up ළමයි. Until we meet, study well and good night.